Starting. Here we go.
Go to 67cash.com from your smartphone or computer to get the cash you need. Visit 67cash.com. Type
we are up and ready.
www.67cash.com directly into the address bar. That's 67cash.com. 67
So you'll put this headset on, Queen, okay, and you adjust the volume with this little thing right here, okay?
Okay. Okay, cool.
And we're off. Oh, come on. Hey, come on. It's Wednesday, y'all. Y'all getting ready? I know some of y'all excited. We only got a couple of more days before y'all get that vacation that y'all been waiting on forever. Y'all already know what this is and who I is. Yo, this is your favorite Gullah girl right here, Kyndra Joi, with your favorite noonday show, On the Move, because we are a people in the community that's what? On the move. So go ahead. It is Wednesday, and I got the past in here, so I can't be but so rude to you. Go ahead and tap your neighbor and tell them to tune in live to your favorite girl at www.wbok1230am.com. And because we want to be with you wherever you are and wherever you go, we want you to go ahead and download that beautiful WBOK app that you can find on your Android and your iPhone app store. And last but not least, we got the sister, the one with the most. We had Andrea up in here on yesterday. Now we got this sister in here today. Go ahead and dial the digits of 504-260-9265. That is 504-260-9265. Y'all want to talk to my girl, my favorite girl, Pastor M is in the building.
Woo woo.
Oh, she ready. She is ready. You ready?
I'm ready, sis.
Yay! So, family, you know, on Wednesdays we try to keep things like mind, body, and spirit, but sometimes we just have everything going on Wednesday. But today we are definitely true to the topic of the day, and it has just been amazing. So yesterday I had my girl on. So this week has just been dopeness. Monday we had the crew from Muslim Fresh on. Make sure you check them out at CongoTVNetwork.com. They're talking about what it's like to be black and Muslim. So you want to make sure you check out that show that we did because it was awesome. And then also check them out because Congo TV Network is for us, by us. So we want to make sure that we are supporting that network as we support other things such as like Netflix and all that other stuff. I want y'all just to be reminded though that it is like a streaming fee. So it's like $5.99. So don't be like, oh my God, I ain't paying no $5.99. Pay the $5.99. Support the brothers, support your sisters, and support what is and who is uniquely ours. You feel me? You feel me? All right. And so on yesterday, don't forget to go ahead and download Drea Marie's CD. You can find that on Amazon. She said Google, iTunes, Spotify, all these other things. We played her latest album yesterday, and that was On Purpose. And so if you haven't heard On Purpose, or if you haven't heard any of her things, check her out. Check out on social media. Facebook, Instagram, or just Google her, Drea Marie, DreaMarie. She came in and she was the family. You were life changing for her, and it was just awesome. So she had phone calls. It was just dopeness. And so today is just no different. I mean, I'm setting y'all up to give thanks for this season, for this holiday season. I'm honored to have Miss Pastor Am on.
Bless you, sis.
Bless you. I met you at the Gullah Geechee thing, right?
Yes.
Daughters of the Dust, I believe it was.
That was it. Yes, ma'am.
And I didn't know how dope she was. You know, she was keeping all that dopeness on like low side. She wasn't telling nobody how dope she was. And but I had to find out. And then when I found out, I was like, ooh, she is dopeness. And so I'm so excited. And how you came about to me was somebody was just like, I need inspirational t-shirts. I was like, oh, you need to go to Buku Grace. That was the first thing that popped up in my mind.
Okay.
And so I was just like, you know what? I need to have her on the show. Like, she hadn't been on the show. And so I was going to put you and Drea together. And I was like, no, only because you guys are just, it's just so much dopeness in 1 hour. I just wanted each of you guys to have your own hour.
Oh, wow.
So that hour went by like 15 seconds yesterday with Drea, and I'm pretty sure it's going to go by just as fast with you. And so, Jazz, can you give me a get ready? Can you give her a get ready so the people can get? So what we do around here, Mama, is that we let people know that we're about to get ready.
Okay.
And I just need you to hit the bell, right?
Hey.
And then when you hit the bell, you gonna do a Holy Ghost bounce, but I'm just gonna do a regular bounce around here. Bless the Lord. And so when you do that, the song "Get Ready" is gonna take off. Are you ready?
Okay.
So, all right. 1, 2. Oh no, I gotta do a countdown. My bad, Jazz. 3, 2, 1. Hey! Now bounce it up. Come on. Oh.
What?
Pastor Am in the building. Getting ready.
on.
Go, go, go.
Girl, this bring me back now.
Good memories, good memories.
Yes,
So, yeah.
yes.
So we are ready for you. So tell the viewers, Facebook viewers, and our listeners right now, you know what I'm saying, who Pastor Am is. Like,
Wow.
who is this dope lady that's sitting next to us right now?
Wow. To God be the glory. I
Give
tell you
thanks.
what. I tell you what. To God be the glory. And I'm so grateful for you, Kyndra, because God is doing a great and mighty work in you.
Give
And
thanks.
just to be able to minister in the marketplace. Hello? Just to be able to
Give
do
thanks.
things just outside of the four walls of the church. That's where the work is. So I'm super, super grateful to be here. Very, very honored. So when you know, it's not beloved. It's
It
so
is.
funny because when I first met you, I actually saw you on Facebook doing something. And I was like, okay, she's from New Orleans. But then when I found out about your South Carolina roots, I'm like, or South Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of people think I'm just from here until I jack up like Ferdinand or something. Like, did I get it right, Jazz? For kind of so until I jack up street names.
I said, you jack up
And then
street
they'll be
names.
like, yeah, you're not from here. Where you from? You know what I'm saying? So if I just keep quiet and don't just like mess with street names, people usually think that I'm from here.
Yeah,
so,
the gullah runs an undertone like New
Yeah.
Orleans. So
Yeah,
it's kind of all the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
the same.
We family.
The same. That's right.
We
That's
family.
right. But it's absolutely true. We met at the Daughters of the Dust movie showing, and it was such a honor and a pleasure because in an interesting way I feel connected to the Gullah culture because I did a little bit of research, a little bit of ancestry, and found out that's where I'm from anyway.
Yeah,
so,
come on here now.
So really, really cool just to be able to share in that time. And who is Pastor Am? Was asked this question years ago, and I'm a waitress, man. I'm a waitress. That's it. I deliver what God is saying. I don't get to change anything about it. I just
Wow.
get to deliver it, and I have
Wow.
to bring it hot. So it has to be exactly what God is saying. Repeat what God is saying, and then deliver it to the people. So I'm a servant, and I enjoy it because God doesn't have to do it, but He chooses to employ me in His work. So I'm just honored every step of the way that He chooses me.
Come on now. I
Yeah,
just
man.
can't take it. It's just early. I have to get ready. I'm just speechless already, and we got a whole hour to do.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
But no, you got some queens that spreading some love to you online. You got Tracy Elizabeth, and then you also have Shamika Gray, the president
Hey.
of the Women in Television. No, yeah. Do I have it right, sis? What is it? Tell me what it is. It's Louisiana Women in Television. We have a branch here.
Oh, wow.
WIFT. And I just joined it. So, and my membership just got accepted. So I'm one of the newest members.
Awesome.
Boop, 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 boop. Of that particular organization. And so she was just like, what's up? So we gonna,
God
connect
bless
you.
you, Queen.
Yeah. Tracy Elizabeth, she was just like, I'm at the doctor's office and tuning in. And so, just exciting. And so there are some things that happened to you that I had no clue.
Wow.
And so Drea was just like, girl, yeah. She didn't tell you about her testimony? I was like,
First of all,
what testimony? Because I was not as active on Facebook
sure.
for a little second.
Sure.
After the conference, I was just like,
Yeah. No, I know.
yeah. Because you did your own conference. So you
Yeah.
already
So you
know.
need a whole break. Like you need to be like, all right, y'all. You
Yeah.
good?
Holla back.
Yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
If I don't respond, don't take it personally.
That's right.
And so, what we are going to do though, we're going to take an early little break because I just want, when we start talking about your testimony and your ministry, and we got to put in there Buku Grace because it is the holiday season, so we want to make sure that we are telling people about Buku Grace and where they can buy these dynamic T-shirts,
I love
but
it.
just encouragement about how God has just done a new thing in your life, and because according to Drea, like you couldn't walk, talk,
No.
anything.
Like in July.
And you walked up the steps.
Yeah.
You talking. You just telling me all types of stuff or whatever, and you giving love and light.
Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk about that. We're gonna dive into that. And so, family, don't you go nowhere. Go ahead and tap your neighbor if you need some encouragement right now. We got the one and only Pastor Am that's up in the building. She's about to bring it. So this is nothing but how we do it. You know what I'm saying? So don't go nowhere. We're gonna be right back. Your husband just said, "Hey, wife.
Oh,
Love you, my Pastor Amaris." Justin, right? The one.
yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm making sure now. I won't give nobody.
Okay, I hit the comments. There we go. Everything was hidden for a minute, but I'm good now.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Okay.
good now.
Their mortgage specialists are with you every step of the way.
So now you can respond to people.
Okay.
You can share it on your page.
Okay, I shared it.
Okay, and then also. Oh yeah, and so anybody that you can, so people can still hear us right now. So so people can check us out or whatever. So if you know somebody who just needs this encouragement right here, I tell you to tune in. If you want to give us a call, feel free to dial digits of 504-260-9265. And yeah, we about to make it happen.
It's like I've been saying.
Yeah, amen.
Bankers who love the community.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about it.
Big time. Okay,
MaryBank.com and discover
Hey,
I'm on it now. There we go.
Mary Bank's
how you doing, Justin?
Yeah.
You all right, Justin? Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this, and I try to ask.
Ladies, I'm sorry.
Just, I'm just messing with you. Come on.
You always do that to me.
Come on.
How you doing?
I'm good, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right.
Enjoy.
Is there anything that you want to make sure that you get in today, like on the radio? Because I mean, you can talk to anybody. I mean, people are listening, checking you out. Is there anything you want us to like highlight on, like touch on, dive into?
I think this.
Because we about to go for like 20 minutes nonstop.
Okay, cool.
So you have, yeah.
I definitely would like to start, I guess, talking about the testimony. And the truth is, like, there was the whole July piece of the stroke, but there is a piece of earlier this year, like learning about and suffering with a great deal of anxiety. And I think a spotlight is owed to like how all-consuming that can be, even to the believer. And the next steps, just so that you don't sink in your own thing and nobody knows about it.
And that's easy to do.
Oh God, it's easy because it's a quiet storm. It's an internal struggle. It's something that you don't want to shed any light on because in my case, I was like, I'm not showcasing all of who God is. If I'm around here like anxious and like having panic attacks and like freaking out.
That's a good point. I need you to say that out loud.
No, for sure. I'm honored to because I definitely know that it's got to be more than just me out here. Like, I'm like, God, you ain't got me out here by myself, but you deliver me from it so that I can tell somebody else about it. For sure. Then I got to shine on my girl, Dre. This was so crazy about her. We spent 4 days together last week.
That's what she said.
Ministering before. So, yeah. So, to know that she was just here yesterday, we yeah.
Yeah, she was just like, yo. I was just, because I told her, I said, I'm going to possibly have some more people on with you. And she was just like, well, do you know who it is? And I'm just like, no, I don't know just yet. She was just like, because she has been, in different seasons in your life, she's been separating herself from just different things. And I completely get that. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it by myself. Just going to. And then she was just like, who else was supposed to be on with me? And I said, she was just like, I was just with her. We just spent the whole weekend together. She was probably like, Jack, what I could do. Yeah. But it has been, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for you just to shake. Karen Miller, Trish.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
Pastor Am.
Hey, T. Karen.
Yeah. And so stick around, T. Would you say, hey, T?
Yeah, T. Karen.
T. Karen.
Yeah.
Don't go nowhere. We gonna have some good conversation. And so tell your people, share it on your page, because we want people to know about Pastor Am and how they can support what she's doing. So
Definitely.
yeah. So it's
Visit 67cash.com.
Yeah, we about to be on.
Awesome. There's a word that came out of that. Is it about to go right now?
No, go ahead.
Oh,
he
no.
didn't look at me yet.
Okay. Oh, he gonna look at you.
Yeah.
All right.
He gonna be like,
Hey.
and I'm gonna be like, all right.
But out of that came a word for me, and I intend to run with this for 2019.
And we about to come on.
Okay, all right. We'll talk about it.
She says, I'm not moving. Great day, family. Great day, y'all. This is your favorite Gullah girl back up in the building with your Kyndra Joi, with your favorite noonday show on the move, y'all. And so I'm so excited. I've been in here sharing and just getting to know this wonderful sister on just a regular person basis.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You see people on social media, you see them every now and again, you be like, yo, they dope, but you really don't get the chance to know them. And so it's just very, very exciting for me to sit down and have this one-on-one unplugged moment with Pastor Am. And so go ahead, I'm going to tell you to tune in right now and tell your neighbor, we can't jack nobody up because the pastor's in the building, but it's okay. So we're going to tap them politely and tell them to tune in live to www.BOK1230am.com. And to go ahead and also download that app. If you can't make it to online on the internet, go ahead and download the app on your Android or your iPhone app store. And then last but not least, if you got any questions for the one and only Pastor M that's up in the building with us today, go ahead and dial the digits of 504-260-9265. That is 504-260-9265. It's just a pleasure to be with the girl, the one and only, my sister, friend. Oh, yo, before we get into Pastor M, I cannot forget, Copper Bamboo, y'all, is having like a wine, waist beads, and head wrap event this weekend from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Go check them out over there on the West Bank, Cable Drive. I'm going to make sure I mention that to you again because we want to support who is and what is uniquely ours. They got head wraps. You can get your hair done. You get your hair cut. You get your incense. You get your earls. As y'all say around here, earls. You get your earls. You get your soaps. You get anything that you need. So I'm going to give that address to you shortly. But Copper Bamboo, check them out, y'all. It's just how it sounds. So, Pastor M, we got the one, Julia Bowser, all the way from Chesapeake, Virginia, on the line.
Awesome.
Watching us on Facebook, we got a little bit of everybody actually. So you got a little national crowd going on.
That's so
Pastor
exciting.
Ann. So So earlier before we went on break, you kind of told people that you were a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
You were a servant. And so for those of us, or those of you guys who are just tuning in, I just want her just to touch back on that and then kind of like dive into this beautiful testimony that has you here today sitting with us.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be quiet and just, look, I'm about to sit back, cross my legs, and just let it, just be like, I'm ready.
Look, I gotta go back a minute ago. You said touch your neighbor. You said you could push him a little bit. Listen, I'm from the 9, so if you like pound on somebody, ain't never love. All right. So.
Okay, I ain't say that. I was just trying to be, amicable. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good. God bless you all who are watching Facebook Live. Appreciate you so much. And for all of you guys who are tuned in, it's true. I was talking to Sis just now, just about how I would describe what God has given me.
Yeah.
And I would say, I would call it a waitress. I really would. The truth is, when I knew that God called me, I was attending my home church, Pleasant Zion Missionary Baptist Church, whoop, whoop, whoop,
all
right up here, uptown, New Orleans, on Saladana Street. And my pastor, the amazing Pastor Kenneth D. Thompson, I told him about my call. And this is early 2000s. This is 2000, 2001.
Wow.
And I tell him this, and we in New Orleans, and I'm going to be real, at that time, this was not an environment and an atmosphere that was ready for women preachers. And I told him, and God is on his life because he said, let's go. And he jeopardized what God had given him in terms of how he would be viewed and the things that he would be invited to or not invited to as a result of him acknowledging this little girl in this congregation who said God was up to something. Wow. And he pushed me, and he pushed me to the office of the late Reverend Audrey Johnson, and she covered my life and encouraged me. And from there, I realized that God had something special, but I knew that it wasn't like all of what I had seen. I had seen all of these amazing men of God growing up, but I knew that as much as I understood and resonated with that, there was something that God had me to do that didn't necessarily look like that. Because I was a girl.
Amen.
And he had a way for me to do it. And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to make of all of this. And so it was time for first sermon, and I knew that I had to understand my why and at that time and how to describe what God was doing. And he's caused me to do that a couple of times. Been walking with him, just kind of defining the season and what it looks like. But at that time it was a waitress, and I knew that my job was to serve the people of God and to just deliver whatever God said the way he said it, hot and straight way. So that was my only job. It wasn't about glamour. It wasn't about me getting the glory. It wasn't about anybody even noticing me, but it was about people getting and hearing directly from God. And I still feel that way.
Come on in
Some
now.
almost 20
Come
years
on now.
later.
Come on in now. Come on. I see you with your little feet dangling.
Okay,
You're just so cute. You're just like, what's going on? And so, because you do, right now in the city of New Orleans, you have quite a few women, I guess, pastors or ministers or evangelists or whatever. And so I was about to say, how did that make you feel? But I don't want to go too far into that, because I want you to go ahead and talk about this testimony and about how being a believer, because during a quick little break, we had a great opportunity just to talk about anxiety and a believer and how that led you to your stroke in July. So I'm going to do that segue right there. Okay. Because I think it's really important, because there's a lot of people in the church that are suffering. Yep. And a lot of people don't want to admit it. And so, anxiety can be stifling. Like it can really be where you just don't want to go outside. And it is a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. When it comes to that degree. You know, because everybody at some point has some type of anxiety. It could be healthy anxiety, it could be bad anxiety. That's right. Or unhealthy anxiety. And so let's talk about that just a little bit, because, you know, let's just talk about that.
Let's talk about it, because here I find myself in a place where I'm looking back over the entirety of 2018, and I'm like, whoa, God. Yeah. All right, man. Okay. Like it was something. It was something for the record books, the history books, and I am grateful and looking forward to what 2019 is, because this was the year of the lessons. Yeah. So with an S, the lessons. You're right. And I got to a place I was like, well, all right, God, if you're teaching, I'm here to learn. Definitely. I would only like to learn it once, Father. If
I can, let me get this lesson once. Let me get it right this time around. Let me learn it.
And that'll be good. But the truth is, this whole year has truly been something, and So I host an annual women's conference. It's called So Graceful, and it is about the abundant and overflowing grace of God, and how we as the women of God truly can plug into all of what God has for us, and it can overflow into every aspect of our lives. And so I walked that out in the fall and was literally on a high and ready to do more work and ready to start 2018 and just really get some things going. And I found myself in February just beginning to feel overwhelmed by all of what I thought I was supposed to do, and started feeling even anxious about all of what I was supposed to do. I began setting expectations on myself. This was nothing that nobody else told me. Setting expectations for myself and the things that I needed to do within a certain time frame, and all of a sudden I found myself a ball of confusion. Still believing God. Still loving the Lord with my whole heart.
You talking to some people today, baby.
But I found myself overwhelmed. I knew the word. In fact, I knew how to on cue lift my hands and mean it, but still feel overwhelmed by getting dressed for work. Feeling overwhelmed by just going about the normal mode of life. Mm-hmm. And I found myself moving quicker than my words could catch up to. I found myself thinking so fast and my thoughts moving so fast. I went days without sleep. Days. Wow. Days. And you know, we often claim, "Ooh, I ain't getting no sleep last night." I'm talking about the eye never shut. And things were moving at such a rapid pace because I thought there was something that I needed to do or something that I needed, me, myself, Amaris, to contribute. And now in hindsight, that I realized was all God's. And so I started putting my hands in it, my thoughts, my timelines,
Gotcha.
my own expectations, and that thing got bigger than me. And that thing became a monster. And it overwhelmed me, and I had to take a step back. And I said, God, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
God, I have never been here. And I'm a pastor, so being around people is natural. But I got to a point where within me, I knew that there was a storm. Within me, I knew something was brewing. So I became even afraid to be around groups of people because I thought somebody was going to figure out what was going on with me. I thought somebody was going to know what I was thinking. I thought somebody was going to know what was going on with me.
You preaching today, baby. And for people who don't know Pastor Am, she's not only a pastor, but she's a mother.
Yeah.
And you have 3 beautiful children.
Yeah.
So when you start talking about, and you're a wife, so you take care of a house. And so when you start talking about days without sleep, I mean, and just being completely overwhelmed, like I can only imagine how not only your thoughts, but just looking at these faces, these little faces, looking at you like, Ma, what you doing? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the truth is, shout out to my amazing husband because he walked through this with me and
Yes.
every step of the way was trying to figure out how to be one step ahead of me, to try to support me. And the truth is, y'all, when we go through things and we have people that truly love us, they go through it too.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the caregivers, even
Yeah.
in this season, who are taking care of someone with any manner of issue. I'm talking about common cold all the way to bedridden, because it takes an extra level of love and an extra level of commitment and agape to make sure that you are there and that it's not posing blame or saying, you know what I could be doing, I should be doing, but to love. So it's twofold, and I saw that. My husband walked through this with me, the Honorable Pastor Justin Ross Hiller. God bless you.
Amen, brother.
But he walked it out with me. And my first public, this is when I knew something was wrong. When I found myself kind of shifting and quieting myself. I'm not a quiet girl. I'm super loud. We were walking up the stairs. She was like, I'm loud. I'm like, girl, this home. This is what feels
Trying
right.
not to be real hood right
Nah, we match it. But the truth is, I said, if my children can pick up something's wrong with me, then when I go to the store, somebody's going to know something's wrong with me.
Wow.
When I go to work, somebody's going to know. When I'm at church, somebody's going to know. And can I tell you that we absolutely need Jesus? He's the center of my world. But we also need a therapist. If you are, and this is what
your
the Lord
husband said, you are super loud, by the way. He put that on there.
like right now, or like in life.
I just think in general. You ain't had to put it out there on Facebook.
I ain't
like
put
that,
it out there.
but it's all right though. We cool.
Love
We
you,
still
Ace.
cool.
love you. But the truth is, I knew that something was shifted and something was wrong. It was bigger than me, and it was an experience that I had never had. And in all of life, we trust experts and professionals to help us take care of things that are outside of our realm of expertise. If we need to go buy a car, we go to the dealership. If we need our hair done, we go to the hairdresser.
Yes.
We go to all of these other places, and we don't feel the need to seriously ask God if we need to be going to A dealership or B dealership.
Over here, girl. Yes, indeed. You are right.
But there are all of these experts in all of our lives that we entrust big parts of our life to. So when we hit an issue of mental health, especially in our community, there has been a job done on us such that we don't understand that is as expressly important as seeing a doctor, as huge as when you decide what mortgage company you're going with, or what kind of car you're driving, or when your children are going to school. That is a huge piece of it.
Yeah.
And it's the center of who we are in our minds. And when that is truly submitted to God, by way of saying, God, this is bigger than me. I need you and all the people that you employ to be experts to help me out of this. That's where the deliverance came. The deliverance came when I said, God, I actually don't know what to do. And literally dialing up and said, where to go next. Yeah. And when I sat down and when I started talking, when I started working through things, God did the work. God opened some doors. He made me realize I was doing more for things that were happening around me than what was required or what was necessary. I was spending thought time on things that did not matter and were not mine. And so when I was able to walk through that, talk through that, my husband was so kind, he even came to some of the sessions, and when we truly walked it out and realized that there is this God piece that I have to pay attention to, but within that there is this self-care piece that as wives, as mothers, as sisters, as daughters, we don't pay attention to. And when we put everything ahead of us, including our families, our husbands, everything else, our work, and we don't consider ourselves, when we are not well, who gonna do the work? Who gonna pray? Who gonna change the diaper? Who gonna dry the soccer mom van? We got a soccer mom van.
All right.
Who gonna dry the van? Who is going to do these things if we in fact don't allow God to do the work on us? And so that was a lesson I had to learn, not just for myself, but I had to be strong enough to learn it so that I could be delivered.
Yeah.
Come on. I hear Bishop G. Patterson, be delivered,
Yeah.
be set free. All right. So in that moment, I realized that it was bigger than me, but I had to learn the lesson of truly what it means to be anxious for nothing.
I think saying anxious for nothing. You better come on with it.
I give God glory because in the end,
anxious for nothing.
in the end, that was the lesson, that there are things that can cause us to be anxious. There are things. The enemy is out here roaming. He wants as much as he can have. But if he can get our mind, he can have everything else, because that's it. That's the seed.
Come on.
So if he can get our minds wrapped up, tied up, or if he can't get all of it, maybe he can just systematically toss a panic attack,
Distract us.
or throw us off and distract us and cause us to look ever so slightly left or ever so slightly right, and take our eyes off of who God is and who he's called us to be.
Yeah.
When he does that, that literally causes us to be all spent, all exhausted, all overwhelmed, and all over the place. But when we truly pick up the purpose of God, and when we recognize that he is calling us to be anxious for nothing, and to trust him with everything, even our thoughts, thank you, Lord, even the way in which we walk, the things that we do, the places that we go, the people that we touch. There are so many times when we want to do the good work, but there are so many times where that good work can overwhelm us and can attempt to take us out. And I'm in a season right now where I know that God is calling us away from perfection and into excellence. What's perfection versus excellence? Perfection is, I gotta be over here, I gotta go to the baby shower so they can see my face, and then I gotta run over here and I gotta be at the wedding, and then I gotta go back and try to be at the repast so that they could know I care, and I gotta go be over here at this place, and I gotta run and be over here at this place. But when all of that happens, and you go back and you are spent and you did not do it well, you were there, but your mind was checked out because you were tired. You showed up, but you were 3 hours late because you were running everywhere trying to be everything to everybody. But this is what I'm telling you, Kyndra. This is what I'm telling you, sis, that God is calling us out of perfection, out of doing it just for the sake of doing it, into excellence, to say, you know what? I actually can't be all these 10 places, but there's one place I'm going to go. I'm going to go and I'm going to let God take charge, and I'm going to let him use me. And when I'm in place, I'm going to be totally present. I'm not going to be worried about anything else that's going on, because perfection has in a place to say, house got to be perfect, laundry got to be washed. Don't get me wrong, there are things in obligation that we have, but when we unload ourselves from those obligations and we say, God, whatever you calling me to do, whatever excellence looks like, show me what that is, because it's time out for perfection. Because that's where the enemy roams. And that's when he can snatch you. That's when he can distract you. And that's when he can throw you ever so slightly to the left.
Collection, please.
Oh, my God. Thank you, Lord. Jesus.
What? Okay.
Thank you, Lord. All right.
I don't even know where to go from that. I just feel like she just did like a brief sermon. Out of perfection to excellence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the truth, sis. We all been there. Matter of fact, we there right now.
I can't I can't. Look, I can't do nothing else.
We match
Look,
up.
I can't even do nothing else right now. I don't even know what to do. It's like I'm being silly. I'm just being silly, but
Real
it's
talk,
like,
real
yeah,
talk.
real talk.
Real talk. The truth is, I can only talk about it. I can only share about it. I can only encourage somebody else, because not only have you been there, but if we were honest with ourselves, we're there right now.
Oh, definitely.
In some way, shape, or form.
Oh, definitely.
Trying to do the most and be the most. And I love how God deals with me. That's how the whole Buku Grace movement came along, because I said, God, say it in a way where I can understand it. And the best way that I can explain the way we need to submit and the way we need to release, because we're trying to do a lot. We're trying to accomplish a lot. We're trying to make his name great. But God shared with me one day, he dropped it so easy. He said, but I do the most. You out here trying to do everything, but God does the absolute most. He does the absolute most. We look around and we say, man, what they doing? They're doing the most. They're being extra. God has the absolute most extraness that I have ever seen on purpose. Drea, shout out to Drea.
On purpose.
On purpose, because he has great things in store for us. But we can only truly begin to walk that journey and walk on that path when we realize that it's actually not about anything that I bring to the table. It's not actually about anything that I have.
Yeah.
But when he chooses to employ who he's made me to be, that's when his name can be made great. That's when he can get the work done. And that's when our minds won't feel trapped. That's when our hands won't feel tied.
Yes.
That's when our ankles won't feel like we bound.
Yeah. This one over here preaching. So let me ask you this. In July, so we've been talking from perfection to excellence.
Yeah.
And so this is just and I'm going to let you speak on this, but after experiencing what you've experienced and not being able to do anything, you know what I'm saying? Did you feel like you were in the moment of perfection when you which caused you to be that, like to have that stroke in July? Like, what do you think led to that?
I really feel like back up to like the time spent in February just juggling through anxiety.
Yeah.
I felt that was the time in which I was trying to plug into perfection. I was trying to be everything for everybody as opposed to letting God be everything for everybody.
And be anxious for nothing.
And being anxious for nothing in the middle of it. So I recovered, right? So I felt myself getting stronger. I felt myself moving beyond it. I changed behaviors. I lost weight. I said, God, whatever it takes to just focus. And if it's self-care, do that. If it's just bump everything else and sit on the floor with my children and just roll a ball around and play Hungry Hungry Hippo, do that. Like whatever it looks like. If it looks like just sit up and watch The Voice with my husband, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah. But making sure that I understand that self-care is as much a part of the plan of God as all of the rest of the things. It's going to the nations, it's preaching the word, all of that, right? Taking care of myself. And so I recognize that, but I still am, and the doctors still are perplexed about the timing of the stroke, because it came. I was so confused. I said, God, we out here losing weight, you and me. We out here rolling strong. We out here doing life different. What's going on? And I found myself literally. I was working, and I was completing a phone order or attempting to do so, and writing left me. I was trying to write on a signature pad, and writing left. And I summoned a sweet sister who works with me, and she was able to look into my eyes, and she saw that something had changed. And in that moment, a stroke was happening.
Wow.
Stroke was happening. So I give God glory because it returned, but throughout over the course of the next, I don't really know the time frame, but within that day, writing had left, speech had left. In fact, right side mobility was challenged such that when I went to physical therapy, I could push some 36 pounds of weight out of this arm, but about 3 pounds of weight out of the right side. So the Lord had to take me on a journey to rebuild strength physically after having encountered what it takes to allow him in and to truly transform the mind. Having what felt like a huge setback and having a physical issue now in which I was like, God, now how are we gonna overcome this? And the truth is, I knew, and this is what helped me, Kyndra. I said, God, we're going to walk through all that in February. We're going to do all that in the spring. And you are going to allow me to learn the lesson the way that I did, how I did. And then we're going to be faced with this physical challenge. You're going to have to do the work, God. You're going to have to do it. I don't know who she is, and I know she won't know who I am. But I remember a moment of deliverance on Real Talk, on Mardi Gras Day. I went out, husband said, come on, we going to do something normal. We're going to pull you back in. And we went out on Carnival Day, and I was still feeling like I was going through the motions, but checked out. Like, I was like, okay. So I was walking around, and we were just moseying around as we New Orleanians do. And we stopped at a point where we had gathered with the family, and Zulu was passing. And I can remember feeling like I had the look in my eyes, like I was far, far away. But I was here. Mm-hmm. Kids was on my shoulder, doing what you do. And I can remember looking at the float, and so many things were being passed out. And somebody looked at me and they pointed. And we had caught many coconuts at this point. So I was like, Lord, another coconut. All right. And so I was approaching like I was going to go get the coconut. And the float was stopped. And all of a sudden, as I was approaching the float started moving. And the lady who was on the bottom deck on the left side, don't know what float it was, she snapped 3 times. And she looked at me and she said, come back. Come back. And I looked in that moment and I said, that's enough. That's enough. And there comes points in all of our lives where we know that we have sat in it for a while. And after a while, it starts to feel comfortable. But in that moment, some people experience a massive deliverance at an altar, and I have. Some people know that somebody laid their hands on them, and I've been there. But I'm telling you, on Carnival Day 2018, a woman on the bottom deck of the Zulu float on the left side, God used her to snap her fingers and say, come back. And I literally know that there's somebody who's listening to this, who's sitting in some grief, who's sitting in some overwhelming thoughts that are bigger than theirs. And I'm telling you, it's time to come back. It is time to come back. And the Lord reminded me of that when I was being healed and getting stronger from the effects of the stroke, that it was time to come back, that it's time to come on, that it's been long enough, that this was a setup so that God could get the glory and you could know that you would bend but not break, and that you could come on out of this and not die in the wilderness. Children of Israel got mad with Moses because they out there. They like, come on, we left out of Egypt. It was rough over there, but you done brought us out here to die in the wilderness. And the answer was no. The journey was way shorter than they were making it, but they kept rolling around the same mulberry bush time and time again. 2-week journey turned into 40 years. My God. And I'm literally hearing the Lord tell us that if you would but just trust him right where you are, it's time to come out. It's time to come out from right where you are. Come on, somebody is stuck in some physical ailment. Somebody doesn't know what next step to take. Somebody's teetering on a decision. Somebody has grief. Come on, it's the holiday season. That seems heavier than what they can carry. But I feel the power of God here available for us right now. Tell it, just like that little lady told me, come on out. Yeah. Come on out. Come on. Better days. They got some brighter days on the other side of this. They got some brighter days. It's raining right now. Sis, it's raining right now. Yeah. But the sky is only bright because there's a sun on the other side of it. Hallelujah.
Yo, I can't. We going to take a break.
You brought me here for this?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Jesus.
I did. We're going to take a quick little break real quick with, I know, come on, Pastor. We're going to give her an opportunity to kind of just regroup for a second and get myself to regroup for a second, because I just feel like I just been ministered to. Amen. So don't y'all go nowhere. We got Pastor Am up in the building. We will be right back, y'all. Girl, I cannot with you today.
How you sure supposed to go, sis? Because if they, look, ask some questions. Keep me alive. Okay. God.
You ministered all the people.
Jesus.
You got it.
I turned my Bible on because I was trying to cross-reference something.
No, you can cross-reference. That's it for 2019. Like, It's just, Yeah. So, family, we took a quick little break real quick. We're gonna be right back, and yeah.
You can't afford to do exactly what you're supposed to do right here.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
All right. I can't. And then you still did the And then you still did the conference.
Still did the conference because when it was all said and done, you gotta teach the lesson. Like that's when you know that God has done the work. When you're able to go back and you're able to teach the lesson. And so many times I was like, God, I ain't trying to teach the lesson. I'm just trying to live out here.
No, the guy said, it might be a girl. Shanier?
Oh yes, that's my sis. Hey, Shanier.
She said God brought you there for this.
Jesus.
Hey! Is it Ernest? Yeah, I think so. The guy from Dillon?
Yes!
Yeah. The pastor?
Come on.
Your daughter's Jaquaza Woods back.
Yes. That's my baby out of North Carolina. Love you, baby.
And then your husband, and then your aunt, and then your T.D. Karen.
Yes.
Yeah. So you gotta, when you get a chance, you should check it.
I'm trying to get it such. There we go.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it when the comments were showing, but I got it now.
Oh my God, thank you. I was so down on myself for the lack of perfection moving forward. What I can do, I will do well in 2019. 2019 will be different from student to teacher. The shift has occurred.
Whew. They got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Came on and she did her own. She had her own testimony.
Yeah.
She had her own thing, and that's exactly why you guys. We about to be back on. Excuse me. All right, family. All right, we have composed ourselves just a little bit, and just so excited to be able to have Pastor Am with us right now. If you guys are just tuning in, we have the one and only Pastor Amaris Ross Hillard with us on the line, and she's been preaching. I mean, and just flat out just ministering to us about moving from perfection to excellence and what that exactly is. And just she been all in my backyard, my front yard, my house, sleeping around my front door. She done got my dog together. She done got everything together. Yeah, she done got the dog. The dog is doing, you know what I'm saying? She done got it all right, all in my business. And so, but it was a word of deliverance. So if you're just catching it, just continue to catch it because we're in the midst of it. We only got a few more minutes, but. Okay. Tune in. I told you it goes fast.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. www.bok1230am.com. Tune in. If you got any questions, concerns, feel free to go ahead and dial the digits of 260-9265. That's 504-260-9265. And so, one of the things that we were talking about, so I'll just kind of do like an overview of just being a believer, being overwhelmed and being a believer, moving from perfection to excellence. Going from July, having a stroke in July, not being able to be as mobile as you want, not having mobility on your right side, to actually doing a full conference. And was it October?
It was in November. First weekend in November.
So going from overwhelmed, no mobility your right side, to putting on a full conference, a very successful conference. Amen. On top of that. Amen. So how you do that?
Tis the Lord.
Tis the Lord.
Tis the Lord.
How you do that?
Listen, after going through all of that, and it's so important to recognize that that I received my healing. Like I knew that a stroke had happened, and I received my healing. But here's the truth: I had to go to physical therapy 3 times a week for 2 months, and within that there came a certain release where I was released to go back to work. And I want us to remember. I want the people of God to remember that your healing is connected to you also being available and ready to do the work. All right?
Now that's a word right there.
Faith without works is dead. So if I've got the faith to believe God for this healing, flat out, I gotta work.
Yeah.
I gotta go and put in some work. And so that 3 pounds of pressure that I was able to push out of that right side, it became 7, it became 12, it became 17, it became 22. And we have to know that God is able to do it, but when he does the work through us, He's going to do it in such a way where people can look and say, okay, well, I'm not out here by myself.
Yeah.
I'm not just out here just working through it and I don't see progress. No, it's progress, but it's in such a way where you can learn the lesson.
Yeah.
All right. And so fast forward to the conference. Indeed, God still said, go. Yeah, man. Do the work. Do the work. And with the push of my husband, my pastor, along with, I call them the Real Grace Squad, my ministry team, we sat around the table and we said, let's let God do the work. And so the conference was themed Anxious for Nothing.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and God did the work. We had a night of worship, and then on a Saturday we had a day of launching, and just truly embracing what it means to take care of ourselves, what it truly means to allow God to do the work, so that he can launch us into the next thing that we're doing without the anxiety. Because when we fall into anxiety, when we fall into these deep places of depression, it's real. But it's also, there also comes this space of feeling like there's something that I need to do, as opposed to this submission that said, God, you do the work.
Yeah.
I can't. Because it literally lights on, but it's dark.
Yeah.
So allowing him to do the work. And so the conference was birthed out of this year's experiences. And being able,
experiences they were,
Jesus, but being able to teach the lesson. And I truly can say I'm so proud of how God continued to push me. I can't even say proud of myself, proud of how God pushed me, how he wouldn't let go until I taught the lesson. And when I taught the lesson, that there came a, now that's it, daughter. Not that's it, sit down. It's a worship, work, soar, repeat. That's my ministry logo or motto, is to worship, to work, to soar, and then repeat. Go back and do it. So I'm in a repeat phase where I'm going back, and I'm back at the altar, and I'm worshiping so we can work again, so we can soar again, and we can repeat it again.
So you are truly Buku Grace.
Man,
it's like it's just sheer Buku Grace right now.
He caused me to live it. I messed around and thought it was just a t-shirt. Whoops. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
Wow.
It's a lifestyle.
Wow. So if you would like to order, this time is up. If you would like to order a Buku Grace shirt, where can they go?
All right, they can go to bukugrace.com. Just straight and simple like that, bukugrace.com. Honey, if you're still on, can you type it right there in the comments? I know he had been on for a minute, but bukugrace.com. I actually brought you some gifts today, sis. I got you fully loaded with your very own Buku Grace in the building.